Hello, everyone. This is Becky again here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and Gertie's here. She's got on my Christmas dress that I made a couple years ago, and this is the Cardi shawl, and I'm adding fringe. So I thought I would come on now because I just remembered I promised Scott I would bake 3 or 4 different types of cookies, so he could take some in and leave them in the break room on Friday, Thursday or Friday. And I'm going to do that today instead of coming on this afternoon. I'm going to start baking after I sign off. Hi, Pam. So Gertie is here with me. I'm adding the fringy bits. I'm trying to decide if I will take a brush to them and brush out the yarn, which you can do to make it more bushy. I'm going to pull you all over a little bit. So I am working my way around. Let me turn Gertie. She doesn't turn very easy. And I probably should point you down a little bit. Good morning. So I'll be kind of in and out. Say hi. And I've used this and wrapped the yarn single around it the full length and then cut a whole pile of fringe bits. And I take 4 of them and get the end even up here at my fingers. Put Band-Aids on because my knuckles have split that badly. So put triple antibiotic ointment on them and bandage them up so you guys don't have to see what a wreck they are. Then fold it in half, bring in your ends mostly even. And then I go from the underside out one of the holes and then just loop it through, and there's the fringe attached. So that's what I've been doing. Hi, Gail. As soon as I get the fringe all the way around, this will be done. And I'm kind of leaning toward the idea of maybe I needed to have made my squares like maybe 2 rows bigger each, go around with another color before going back to the light blue. But I am not taking it apart at this point in the game. So that's all I'm doing. I want to finish this up, and then I'm going to start baking cookies. And I know Dee Dee's on right now, and I never really like to step on anybody's toes, but I'm doing something totally different than what Dee Dee's doing. So I figured people would choose, what they would, like to see. And I do have my good best scissors over here, so they don't stay long on this table. So what do you guys think? Should I brush the yarn out so it's fluffy? I've called this dress form Gertie. I've called her Gretchen. So anything beginning with G might land on her. Yeah, and I'm just loop knotting them on there. And I'm only using 4. No, don't brush the yarn. Just leave it like this. Well, when it goes through the washing machine, I bet it'll get fluffy. Hi, Joyce. How are you this morning? I figured this might be boring, but it's something I'm working on that I'd like to share. And I want to get it finished today, so I came on. Hello, Howard. Yes, darling, I know. It's supposed to be all about you, isn't it? Yeah, I know. Can you see him? No, you guys aren't to pull on this. It's not for you. No. Bernadette. Howard, go get your dog. Go get the blind deaf dog for me. Can you go get the dog? Bring her in here. Bernadette. Bernie. I thought about putting her back outside before I hit the live button, but she was settling down in her crate. So I thought, oh, she'll take a nap. I just fed her. I wish she would just, after she eats, just go lay down for a while. It is really cold. Our outdoor thermometer says 41 degrees Fahrenheit right now, which is just a little bit above the freezing of 32 degrees. Bernie. She can't hear me. I don't know why I'm calling her. Uh-oh, I lost one. There we go. And I'm making this for myself. And you don't put any fringe on the little arm openings or around the very top of the neck. The fringe just goes on the edges. And Scott said it turned out beautiful. Oh, you got your hat. Oh, you're welcome. Good. Good. Your package was such a lovely surprise. I wanted to do something nice for you too. Hi, Tippy. Did you bring the dog for me? I can hear her back in the kitchen. You're a good boy, Tippy. Oh, now he's got to go dig on his digger. He just came in from the catio. He laid in the sunshine for a while, but decided it was, it's cold out there, Mom. And I tried to tell him that, but cats don't listen. We had a lovely time with my two sisters and their husbands. And they left all of the leftover food here. So we've been eating on it for days. My youngest sister's husband is a chef. So he always makes a lot more. He makes a lot more than a small party would need because he's used to, having to refill trays and things. He's done weddings and he's about to open his very own food truck. And the name of his business is Buds. And it's all about exciting your taste buds. And he's going to have like dippable type items and rotate his menu. So it sounds like he's got one more piece of paper he has to have before he can actually open up for his business. No, you just came in. You stop it. Go lay down. No digging on the wall. You've already ruined that one piece of trim, you cats. And I'm not propping the door open. It's too cold. And what else? Robin and Dave, they're the ones doing the dragons. I don't know if everybody's seen the dragon pictures on Facebook. But they're doing 3D printed articulated dragons. So they move. And I shared the little red one that I got for Christmas. And I could have chosen more, but I wanted to leave them some, ability to sell some. And I think Mina was going to buy some because she wanted to know about them and Kathy wanted to know about them. So I'm trying to hook y'all up with my sister Robin. She's an art teacher in an elementary school as well as a potter. So they're doing their final week before Christmas type stuff. And then they'll be off until after the new year, I think. On the 30th, I got the invitation to go. And I told her we might come to her last of this year's Roman kiln firing. So she's going to be doing a kiln firing in the ground with one of the kilns you build around the pottery. Kind of looks like a giant ant hill, and we could go to that and maybe take a little bit of video, and I could include it. We'll wait and see how Scott's feeling about it, because we'd be out in the cold, in the dark. We would probably wait to go, a little bit later on. I think they're starting at 1 and going to 7 p.m. And the coolest part of the whole firing is when it's after dark and you see fire shooting out of the top of the kiln pile. And so we might do that. I think this is almost as time consuming as the actual crocheting. And I'm glad this is for me because the cats have laid all over it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You could do more if you wanted your fringe to be, beefier. I'm just doing the 4 that Just Vintage Crochet did on hers. Now, she used a yarn that's a red heart yarn that has a halo. It looks fuzzy, except for where I have the light blue. She did kind of a cream because hers was done in dusty rose and kind of browns. And all of the yarn was that haloed yarn, which I can't remember the name of it, except for the row where I am right now, because her fringe is a cream, but she used the regular red heart yarn for where I have light blue, hers is cream. So here and here. And then the rest of her colors are different. Oh, and here. So she's got, where I've got my blues, and coral, she's got dusty rose colors and browns. And I liked hers too. It's just, I'm trying to use from my stash. And I had thrifted all of these yarns. So I only paid like $1.99 a skein. And this is what I have left here. So I still have a bunch I can use to make hats or something. I think I might look up a pattern to make a granny square hat to match this. Because wouldn't that be cool? She does vintage patterns, like really old vintage patterns. Like you have to convert from European terms to American terms. So when it's a single, it'll say double, but it means single. So her patterns are a workout for your brain. Now this one wasn't, because this was like a retro late 60s pattern that she came across. And I said, oh, I wanted one of those when I was little. I'm going to make that for myself. And so I am. See, now I'm going to commit myself to go into the kiln firing. If we go at about 5 o'clock, I'll need to prepare a dish to pass, because at 5 o'clock they have the people that participate, they have like a cookout together. So if you show up at 1, don't expect to be eating at 1. The food is made for later in the day. So that's why I figure we might go a little bit later in the day when all the excitement's going on. When it's daylight, when Robin does it in the summer, she's sweating bullets because she's feeding that fire constantly, and it's like 100 degrees. So this would be the kiln firing to go to, because you'll want, if the temperature remains what it is now, you'll want to be around that kiln when it's like at 1100 degrees. And but the thing about this type of firing, you have to wait days for it to cool off. You can't rush and try to open it too early, or the pottery will just all explode and break. So you have to wait days to see what her final results are. No, Howard. He was about to pull. We just have one of those fireplace screens that stands up there, and he was pulling on it. So I sprayed him with the sprayer. You have enough problems with the U.S. patterns. I know. But usually, I can't remember her name, the Just Vintage Crochet. She'll tell you the American terms. Or the U.S. terms, I guess you could say. Oh. I did a doily with her one time. And what I struggled with is being patient with her figuring out the patterns, because a lot of times she'll just pull she does like this mystery, and she will have made copies of the patterns and she'll cross out the title, and then she'll draw a number from patterns that her son has chosen for her to do, and she'll just randomly do one. So I have to learn to be more patient with her, figuring the pattern out when she does the mysteries. My mother-in-law was supposed to go to the doctor today. My sister-in-law made her an appointment because her hip has been giving her so much pain. But then she woke up this morning and she wasn't in pain and she didn't want to go. So she called and canceled it. So that's why I'm on now. And I thought I would just adjust my time so that I could bake cookies all afternoon, and that'll warm my house up. So what kind of cookies? I have this cookbook right here, Christmas Cookies, that was put out by Creative Ideas for Living. And it was done by what was our power company at the time, SCE&G. They used to, in the Dutch Square Mall, that's basically a almost vacant mall now, they used to have where you could go and learn about your energy use and all kinds of stuff. And they'd have cooking classes to show you how to cook on gas or electric. And they gave away that cookie cookbook during one of those free classes back in the 80s. So it's got a lot of really good recipes. I think I might make my grandmother's old-fashioned soft molasses cookies, because those are delicious. And if I do all this baking for Scott's coworkers, we could have like a few cookies here for us to have. And I don't have to have like dozens and dozens of cookies in the house, which is never a good thing for an emotional eater. But I do like to bake, and this is the time of year I can bake and send it away. So it meets my needs, and others also get in on the action. Howard, you're kind of being a nuisance. Honey, I'm going to have to make some more of these. So I'll show you how I do that. It's a perfect time for you to be able to watch. Awesome. Let's see. We got a ways to go yet. If I cut too many, that won't bother me either. I'll show you how I did a whole pile of these. She did it around a book, but the problem with that is she wasn't making sure she wrapped it as an individual strand. She was going over it. And what happens when you do that is you get a lot of irregular lengths instead of a uniform kind of length, which can be kind of cool looking too. So that's the back of it. Woo-woo. All right, let's turn you around here. Now, I've got to go to here, and then right this here is the arm opening, because you just hook two of the little shell units together, and that's where your arm comes out. So I've got to come up here, down here, and across the bottom a ways. I've already done both sides of the front, so there's not too much to do. We might have enough for one more. No, we're coming up with just one short. All right, so what I do is I've got this piece of cardboard, and it's the only thing you need to worry about is the width. It's just a little over 6 inches. And so what I do, is I take this here, and I've got one side of this has a nice groove for my scissors to go in. So that's where I start. So I just put my yarn up here like this, and then I use one of my clips. Hi, Rady. And then I just start winding it, but don't stretch the yarn. Just pull it so it's taut but not stretched. And I just see, I'm trying to make it so that they're not on top of it. You don't want this where they're laying on top of each other. You want to go on one right next to the other. And I just do that down this whole board here. Howard, they saying hi to you. They're saying hello. He wants me to get in the recliner. Uh-oh, someone's coming. Who's coming, Howard? Don't you pounce your sister. That's ugly. Don't pounce on her. She doesn't want to play. Hi, Callie. He's fixing to pounce her. Don't do it. It's not nice. Ray's asking Gail, how you doing? I hope everybody's staying warm. Going to get back to the cookies. I will make probably the soft molasses and the old-fashioned drop lemon sugar cookies, where I take the bottom of a drink glass and I grease it, and then I'll dip it in like colored sugar and pop it on top. I actually have sprinkles, so I could do sprinkles. And to get them to stick to the glass, I put a little Crisco on the bottom, just so the glass is kind of greasy to pick them up. If you guys start moving, it's because Howard's decided that the tripod is a perfect grooming station. I just kind of bump them up next to each other until I've got the whole card covered here, because we still need quite a bit. I still don't know what the plans are for Christmas. Nobody has spoken anything about Christmas. I don't know if I need to just cook here. My sister-in-law, who's married to my brother-in-law, she put in a request for my broccoli casserole. So I bought the ingredients to make broccoli casserole on Christmas Day, but I don't know if we need to pick up a ham, and then I need to prepare some other dishes and just have everybody here. I don't know if we're expected at my mother-in-law's. Quite frankly, she is not up to doing this cooking that she says that she is, but she doesn't remember. And she gets really tired and exasperated, and I just don't know who's doing what for Christmas. Yeah, I know. It didn't used to be that way, but you know, Scott's mom's getting where she doesn't know what day it is and that kind of thing. So, I mean, I have to think about it myself, but hi, Callie. And she doesn't remember that the things in her freezer, some of them are 10 years old. I've offered to go over and clear it out and get rid of all the really old food. Scott's sister cleaned out our refrigerator over the weekend. She came up from Atlanta to do a clear out, but she had to go back to Atlanta for her own doctor's appointment today. And I don't know if she's coming back for Christmas. Nobody's saying anything. It's like we're all just supposed to know. Callie, get down before you break something. Why are you guys behaving so badly? Because I'm live. Come on, get down. She's like, not the spray bottle, Mom. Not the spray bottle. She's behind the curtain climbing up. I wish she would let me take over the holiday meal prep. I'm the youngest out of all of them as far as the adults go. I wish they'd just let me do it. But my mother-in-law always says, oh, but that's so much work on you. But, you know, I would rather do it than to see her get so tired at 96 years old. But I've taken to making weird things instead of the traditional things, and people don't like that. You know, I'm trying to get more green food into the diets of everybody, and they don't want to, you know, they would rather do all the heavy carbs, meat, that kind of thing. And I'm just, if it was up to me, there would be nothing but vegetables in the house. And Scott doesn't care what shows, as long as something shows up on his plate, he'll eat whatever. And he'd buy some meat out when we go out to eat. But my son is definitely a carnivore. He buys his own meat. This is time consuming too, wrapping this. I really love this combination. Aren't you glad I had all those others cut already when you first got here? But you can see I'm trying to keep it all just a single layer here so that I don't have some that are extremely longer. I wish that was the case here, but we don't have any grandchildren. So there's none of that typical excitement. And there's really no little kids in my life anymore. My brothers they've got their own opinion of me and judge me for things they know nothing about type situation is going on. So I've just walked away. I'm not going to fight with anybody over anything. I never felt a full part of it anyway, being raised by grandma. And everybody that I was close to in New York that I, grew up with, I stay in contact with my classmates, and that's good enough. Told Scott I don't know if I want to go back for another reunion, but I do miss seeing the people I spent my school days with. But we've all grown up and we got our own families. And I wasn't part of the real popular group anyway. So what are y'all planning to do in your New Year's? Have you made any big plans? I'm thinking about joining the local arts group. It's like a guild, and they have monthly meetings and that kind of thing. just to get me out of the house. No plans for next year for Ray. Yeah, I just got to thinking, my sisters are busy with their lives, and my youngest sister, Rhonda, she's a runner, and Robin's involved with a SCA, and they each have their own activities, and I have never gotten involved with too many group activities because my expectations, I spend a lot of time with prejudging and having expectations. So when you do that, it's inevitable to end in failure. And I need to quit doing that because I've never experienced this. So my plan for next year is to try to do more things that challenge me to get out of myself. Does that make sense? I haven't been for a walk since Thanksgiving. My knee went out and then I just let it slide and then it got cold. But yes, I do need to get back to daily walk scale. That really helps me. Need to just bundle up and go. You are right. I need to take more care of myself. It's so much easier for me to take care of others than myself. It always has been. I've been a caregiver since probably about the age of 10. My grandfather died when I was about 10. She wasn't as much of a parent anymore as someone I had to look out for. I'm going to put a clip on the top of this, not where the end is, but up here, just to hold this in place. And I can lay this down and snip the first one so it's the same length there. And then I turn it on its side, and in that little groove, hi Kathy, I just get over the table here and there's a little groove in my cardboard that the bottom of my scissors fits in. And I just start snipping. I will not join a gym because every time I've ever joined a gym before, they've closed within 6 months. And plus, I think the gyms are really geared more toward young people. There we go. We'll unclip our first one. And there we got another pile of fringy bits. So we'll go back to doing this. Yeah, it's hard. I wish I had a walking buddy. Scott's legs are so bad now he can barely walk. But, I have to learn to do things on my own. I'll be 60 in March. And I keep telling Scott he's not allowed to go anywhere. Or I'd have nobody. All right, so go in from the back side through one of the granny loops here, the chain 2 spaces. And I'm using 4 strands. That one didn't quite snip through. That's why I got the little snips there. I know. I know. He's not. He's here. He's having to look for another new job because where he's working is closing. He's just in the final shutdown helping of the place, which really sucks because he was really excited about getting back on out there and getting some real training. And now the place is closing. So I keep telling him that when the time comes for us to retire, we're going to be moving probably out of state. You better stop, Tippy. I got to put him back out on the porch. I don't know why he wants to go out there. He wants to be a kitty in the sunshine, I guess. That actually covered up a tail that was sticking out. That works out. Let me let him out. Why do you want to go out? Callie, are you going to go out with him, or are you going to wait for me to sit down and then want to go out? There you go. Can't prop the door, guys. It's too cold. She'll jump up now that I've sat down. She'll jump up. Yeah, I'm almost done, Kathy. I had done a little bit on the front before I came on. And like I was saying earlier, I wanted to come on and finish this up so I could share a finished project. And then I'm going to start baking cookies. Scott's boss gave him a gift card to Walmart last night. So I feel like I need to do something in reciprocation, but I have ingredients. I don't have money. I have ingredients here. So I don't feel like going out and buying anything. I can't anyway because the car is back in the shop, because the radiator that we just had put in has a manufacturing defect, so it was leaking. So our mechanic has ordered another radiator, and he said he's having so much trouble with the quality of the parts that's coming in when he orders something. He's having a horrible time with the quality of the parts. And you guys remember my fiasco with the new washing machine, and it was all because the wrong size clutch had been installed at the factory. So what I think what companies are doing is they're hiring people on through temp services, not giving them any training and just dumping them on the line, expecting them to be successful and do the job correctly. And I'm sorry, there is no job on this planet that doesn't require some kind of tutelage, training, guidance, you know. And I hear all the time people saying, oh, nobody wants to work. It's not that. Employers aren't supporting employees. They're not giving them training. They're not giving them proper benefit options that don't cost them their whole paycheck. I'm going on a tirade right now because I can. It's my channel. I can talk about what I want. I'm just so aggravated with people. And there are people in my family that talk about the plight of the misfortune of the rich. I'm sorry. You can't hide all your money. You're not paying the same amount of taxes as I am anywhere close. You're probably paying next to zero on taxes because you're hiding your profits in ways that people in my pay range, we can't do that. We do that, we're in jail. And if you believe all that nonsense, I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. Yeah, but they don't want to pay them. They don't want to pay them what they're worth. I mean, Scott has had to really struggle to get paid what he's worth. He's got over 60 years of, or 50 years at least of knowing how to do things, and he has the knowledge to decipher when there's a problem that nobody else can find the answer for. He's the guy. He's the guy that people go to find the answers. And I'm sorry, companies should be willing to pay for that level of expertise. Instead of saying, ooh, we had all these profits, I'm going to buy a new yacht or take my family on a world tour. It's your employees that should be getting the reward, not you. You haven't done anything except sit on your backside and collect the profits. Sorry, tirade. The plight of the rich. To me, that's just ridiculous. I'm going to put it on when I get done. Let's see. Remembering which way I'm coming from the back here. I don't have much left to do. And then I got to thinking how cool it would be to incorporate a pocket on this somewhere, but I don't know where I would put it. I hope I don't have to wrap anymore, but I think I'm going to have to. Oh, I need one more. I gave my sisters the option to pick out 3 dishcloths from my dishcloth box. And my youngest sister, Rhonda, said, I can't take those. And I'm like, why? What's wrong with those? She said, they look like ramen noodles. They're all cream and tan, and none of them took any of those. I ought to give away 3 on Saturday. I'm going to do another surprise live on Saturday evening, and I'll do another giveaway. I have not been able to mail anything because I have no way to find a box or take it to the post office right now. I'm kind of housebound because the car's over at the garage waiting on its radiator. And Scott's got the truck. I mean, I could have drove him the 40 minutes to work and then did what I needed to do and then have to drive back and get him. But that's a lot in gas. So I'm just waiting. But I know who gets what from last week. I just got to find a box because it won't fit in a medium flat rate box. So I need a brown box to show up that'll hold the blanket. All righty, we're getting there. Oh, I hope I have enough. Let's see. Just need 4 back. It's called a cardi shawl. It doesn't pull over your head. It goes on like a sweater, like a cardigan. And she called it a cardi shawl. Because it's not a pullover poncho. I'm getting there. I just got to get up to where the fringe is on the front. Oh, please have enough. Let's see. I'm excited too because I've been working on this for about week and a half, 2 weeks. The squares went together pretty quick. I mean, it's only, you do 4 in the middle and then 2 in each of the other rounds. So it's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 rows around with the color changes every 2 rows. And if you're plus size, this is going to be a little small on me. Let me take a sip of my tea. You could just add like 2 more color changes. Excuse me. Ooh. But you can make this larger just by making the squares slightly bigger. This would probably fit me better with 1 more color change. But if you're 2X or larger, you might want to go 2 more color changes, maybe 3. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't know it was going to turn into a sneeze fest. This time of year, I really struggle with the dry conditions. I don't know about you guys, but I think before I start the cookies, I'm going to get that huge stock pot that I have out and fill it with water and maybe sprinkle a little cinnamon and nutmeg on it and just have it, bring it to a boil and then let it simmer so the house gets a little bit moister. That's the drawback of living in this part of the South where the humidity is so high. When the winter comes, then it turns really dry in the house with the heat. And you have to use a vaporizer to get some steam and moisture back in the house. Oh, I hope I have enough. I might be short a couple. This part's easy to do, with the slip knots, but I don't know if I've got enough. It helps if your hands want to work too. Oop! I tried to count that as 2, and it was the ends of 1 I was bringing together. So, hi, Barbara. This time seems to really work for you guys, about between 10 and 11 Eastern. I could go earlier on Wednesday. Oh, let's see. Oh, we only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. Maybe I can make it without having to cut more. Howard's just sitting here watching me so patiently. I think he wants me to get in the recliner. Oh, this morning I so wanted to climb back in bed and just go back to sleep. I was sleeping so good when the alarm went off. And I hit the snooze like 3 times. And finally, we were like, oh, we got to get going because Scott has a 40-minute drive. I don't know if he got my message. Last week was his last week working through the temp service. And he took a day off for his doctor's appointments Thursday. And he wanted to take that last vacation day he had earned through them, and they didn't pay him for it. So I'm hoping they make that right. So here's to the new year, bringing some good jobs for Greg, and Scott settled in as a full-time employee of where he works now, which we are thrilled about, especially since the insurance costs a lot less and is a lot better. So maybe we can get some health issues taken care of, the tear in my knee, so it quits bothering me periodically. Oh, I only need enough for 2 more holes. Please be here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will be so happy if there's enough there to do the last hole. And then we'll try it on for you guys. And I will let you go, and I will start baking cookies. I'm going to put like 4 of each type of cookie in a bag, and I'll put on it if it's got nuts in it or not, just in case there's somebody at his work that's allergic to. Oh, you won't believe this. I had exactly enough to do Is that doing good or what? I mean, I got that really good into the last hole. And I don't have any going into my waste bag. All right. Let's see if Gertie will let me try it on. Let me lift you guys up. Hi, Leah. Oh, 37 years together. That's awesome. That's awesome. Scott and I will be 39 this year. Oh, I guess I could take these out now. You mark where to stop the fringe because you don't want it on the back of your neck. So I'll take this off and we'll move Gertie. I always want to put the "hello, my name is" tag on her. So this goes on. Your arms come out. Getting the fringe. There we go. See? I can't see the back. See the back? Woo! I don't know if you can see it or not. Not very good. But it's very comfy. So see, that turned out pretty good. And now that the fringe is on it, it looks even better. What I'll do is I'll get Scott or Greg to take some pictures of me when they get home. And see, I could put like a pin right in the front right there. Make a cool pin to go with it. So super easy to make. When you you do the squares and then you attach two and the back is on a diamond. So you attach on this side. So this block goes up this way. And then you attach the other one on the other top corner. So it goes out this way. And then you bring them together. It's hard to, that was the part that confused me. So you come around the neckline, and this is one side of the square. And where the square comes back and you've attached your two squares together, you line this edge up along here, and then you count 4 holes from the fold down, and then you just hook those two together. And she put on the very back here, where the neck at the back is, you'd put a row of slip stitches through so that it gives the back more stability. But you do that just in that like little dip in the back. So we'll put it back on Gertie now. I'll show you what I mean on here. Just in the very center U-y part between the two here, you just put some slip stitches to make this so it doesn't stretch out. I'll put this back on Gertie. So yeah, that was fun to make. Hi, Sandy. Oh, Howard's leaving the building. All right, and I need to get you guys so you're not pointed to the ceiling. Here we go. So that's my Cardi shawl finished. And I'm sure after it's gone through the wash a time or two, the fringe will get, kind of fluffy. I will probably not put it in the dryer. I'll probably just machine wash it in a bag. Oh, I'm sorry, Angie. I saw you got a new phone. That's awesome. I never take the heart off mine. That's something everybody can do, but you have to do it every single time you go live. And I just leave it because I figure it's interactive stuff. Yep, Howard had a meeting. He went down the hall. I don't know what he's doing. But there's your favorite, Kathy. She's sleeping by Mama. She sticks with me. And you can see the door where they scratched it? Brats. But anyway, so that'll be my live for today. I know Mary did a live early. I was still asleep when Mary went live, but she did a little walkthrough in her closet. And I think is Ann here? Is she going live at noon? See, that's what I could do is I could go live and then go off at noon when Ann comes on instead of coming on after Ann. Oh dear, can't talk above a whisper. I hope you haven't caught any bug. There's a lot of them going around right now. To be honest, I was kind of dreading taking my mother-in-law to her doctor's office because that's where the sick people are. Yeah, I might do the whole go live about 10:30, 11 instead of 1:30. Yep, everybody says tea with honey, and I can't stand honey and tea. I don't know why. I just don't like that. I like honey on biscuit or a slice of bread, but yeah. So I'll plan to try to do 10:30 or 11 from now on. I'm going to go take messages that I put up earlier off and say, surprise, I came on early. But I'm going to do the sugar cookies that are in here. I saw Kathy, your family did their big their big cookie bake over the weekend, didn't you? But I have old-fashioned sugar cookies that I tried in 1987. See, I dated it. And somewhere I have my grandmother's recipe for molasses cookies, but I also have some vintage cookbooks that are older than this book. This is from, I think this is from like 1987. 1986. So they gave us these cookbooks at that energy. It was called the Energy Info Center. And they handed these out one time when I went for a energy knowledge cooking show type thing through them. And I have made so many cookies out of here. You can always, when you get an old cookbook, my favorite part of an old cookbook is when you take it and you're flipping through and you hit a page that has grease spots and bits of really old cookie dough stuck to it, because that's the page you need to try that cookie recipe. Just saying. Oh, another one that everybody likes me to make are snickerdoodles, where you take it's basically a sugar cookie kind of recipe, same but no lemon, and then you roll it in the spicy mixture with the sugar. Like, I think it has, what is it? Nutmeg and ginger in it. Those are in here too. Snickerdoodles. No, that one you mix it in the sugar, in the mixture. It's got cinnamon in it. But I swear I sneak some nutmeg in because I love nutmeg. So I'm going to go look through here and see what I've got the ingredients for. And I'm going to bake cookies and wrap them so Scott can take them into work. You got your cookbook from 1972. I've got some vintage cookbooks that I've picked up over the years because I don't want them to go to the landfill because I know they are the ones that have the best recipes. On the very top shelf in the kitchen, on my cookbook shelf, that's where I keep my really old cookbooks that you got to be real careful when you turn the pages because they're that old, probably 100 years old. So anyway, I'm going to go get busy and I'll put on an apron so I don't get messed up. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. I hope everybody's doing really well with their Christmas preparations, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.